Welcome to an all-new edition of the Animated Critics Weekend Box Office Update for August 20th to the 22nd, 2010. As followed are the weekend estimates. Returning to the number one spot is the Lionsgate/Stallone film, The Expendables, with an estimated $16 million, putting its total now at estimated $64.5 million. Do you think this is still on track to hit $100 million after this weekend?
I think that it's a possibility. If it goes any lower than what it's at right now, then I don't know. To me, it feels like it's kind of on the fence now, and it can go either way. And I'm just hoping that it keeps it up, that it gets some legs. There's really nothing new out, as you can see with this weekend. Just a very low weekend for all new movies coming out, so it's got a chance at keeping legs.
Yeah, this might break the 100 million barrier, but not by much. I would have liked to have seen a $70 million gross after this weekend. 64, though, is respectable for a film that was budgeted 82. And look for this to do very good outside the US as well. So this would be a profitable film for Lionsgate. Debuting in second place is the spoof Vampires Suck with a $12 million estimated gross. Since its Wednesday debut, we had $18 million so far. Are you surprised that the spoof picture has done so well?
No. These movies have constantly been making money, even though they're not funny. Nobody likes them, yet somehow everyone keeps going to see them. I think it's the PG-13 rating on these things, and then the kids, they're so juvenile with the jokes and everything that the kids really come out to see them, and also the kids come out to buy tickets so they can sneak into the Expendables.
I would agree with you on that. I think a lot of people bought tickets for this and saw other things that they couldn't get into age-wise. But this is unusually strong for this genre to debut with these kind of numbers, especially after the last film in the series, Disaster Movie, didn't make any sort of dent in the market. So I am surprised at these numbers.
And at number 3, we have Eat, Pray, Love with 11 million, almost 12 million estimated weekend for a gross now of about 46, 47 million, which is pretty decent.
Yeah, these are decent numbers. That's about all. These aren't spectacular. I mean, this is Julia Roberts' comeback film and Sony's big counter programming, and it's going to do probably $60 million. There's no way this is hitting 100 million like was previously estimated, but it'll die out in the 60 million range, and it's a mid-level success for Julia Roberts.
Yeah, it's alright. It is what it is. It came out, people saw it, and it obviously found an audience, and that was that. And at number 4, we have Lottery Ticket with 11 million estimated weekend, and that is one of the other films opening this weekend. Not a horrible opening, really, for this type of film.
I actually think this is a fairly decent opening for a movie that had very little exposure marketing wise. It has the least amount of dates. It has the highest per screen average in the top 10. I mean, people in certain markets saw this movie, but it was ignored on the whole.
I actually saw quite a bit of advertising for it. I was surprised, but maybe I was just in the right place, right time. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely playing to a specific demographic, and that's why movies like this tend to have higher screen averages because they have typically lower sites, lower theater counts.
And rounding out our top five this week is The Other Guys, which continues to hold well with an estimated 9.5 million weekend, bringing it to right under 90 million, about 87 to 88 million. This looks like it's on track to hit that 100 million, if not a little bit above it at this point. Are you surprised the legs this has shown in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, definitely with all the bad reviews and word of mouth that it's been getting. But I mean, this is definitely going over 100 million easy, and I think it's a good hit for Will Ferrell. Unfortunately, I don't think it's a fair hit. It is the only comedy left for people to be going to see. So
Yeah, it's the last comedy of the summer, and like we've said before, this has been a terrible summer for comedies, and this looks like it'll be the second highest grossing film of the summer, comedy wise. Debuting outside the top five, we have three new films, none of which topped the 9 million mark. The best of the lot was Piranha 3D, which had 85% of its showings were in 3D. And even with that inflated ticket price, this film couldn't break the top five. Did that surprise you at all?
it did a little bit. I expected this to do a couple million more. It did 9 million. I expected a little bit more out of it, to be honest with you. And it seemed like a fun event movie, but I don't know. Was this rated R? It must have been. I mean, that must have been the deciding factor for it, which is unfortunate because this would have been a movie that teens really probably would have gone and seen versus Vampires Suck had it been rated PG-13. Debuting next Friday, we have Last Exorcism, Takers, and once again we have Avatar coming out in a special edition, releasing in 700 plus theaters. Personally, I don't think The Last Exorcism is going to do that well. It looks horrible, and I've heard nothing but bad things about the trailers. Takers probably do pretty decent. Looks like a standard action crime drama movie with Paul Walker. It's going to do what it's going to do. The real question I have is, what do you think this Avatar is going to do?
I see Avatar right in the middle of the pack. Honestly, I think it'll do $7 to $11 million next week, and bump that domestic total up even higher on the ranking charts.
Yeah, it's surprising. I mean, it took Star Wars decades before they came out with special editions, really, to really beef up their grosses. And the same with Titanic. And here we have Avatar just coming out just right after the original cut.
Yeah, this seems like it was a calculated move from the beginning that they knew that they were going to do this once it hit a certain amount of money at the box office. I do think Takers is going to do about the same in the $7 to $8 million range, and I think The Last Exorcism, which historically horror films have done well in late August, but I see no heat behind this picture, and I think that tanks with less than 5. And that does it for our show this week. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to check back with us next week and to see how we did our predictions.